Today on the Topping Show, Matt Walsh goes viral for his reaction to Karmelo Anthony's Gofundme, who is the alleged murderer of a student with a 4.0 GPA. Trump gives us high-flow showerheads and more with more deregulation. Prada to buy Versace for $1.36 billion. And Cabot butter is being recalled. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. Lastly, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part podcast, you have Prada buying Versace for over $1 billion, which is a pretty penny. And yeah, I guess it makes sense when you consider how profitable high luxury items are. Though obviously, I don't know. I don't have any direct experience. Got this suit at Men's Warehouse. Geez, it's probably 12 years ago. Pretty good ROI, but definitely not to the level of Prada. Now, this comes with thanks to Charlotte Edwards, the writer at BBC. And they say, quote, Prada to buy rival Versace for $1.36 billion. And here you can see one of their nice bags. Definitely not overpriced and completely a ripoff. Definitely not mostly profit that they pocket. Well, to their credit, they also spend a lot of money on marketing. But yeah, that little bag or purse, whatever the hell you want to call that piece of leather, that is probably worth more than my car. Some might say that's not much since it's a Honda Civic Si, but I love her and she's green and cool. But yeah, I mean, those purses and bags, I believe they call it clutch, not like clutches in a car, which is where all the clutches should be. But nevertheless, people buy them in droves. The power of the brand is unparalleled with some of these luxury brands. From a marketing perspective, quite impressive. And there's some nice craftsmanship put into it as well, don't get me wrong. Now they say, quote, Prada has agreed to buy smaller rival Versace for a $1 billion deal to unite two of the biggest fashion design labels. The design two companies, the two Italian brands, are estimated value of $1.36 billion, the Prada group said Thursday. Prada chairman Prazilio Bertelli says, quote, we aim to continue Versace's legacy of celebrating and reinterpreting its bold and timeless aesthetic, unquote. They say the Prada group already owns several design labels, including, this shows how much I'm, quote, unquote, in on fashion. Spoiler, I'm not. Still rocking the New Balance 990s. I think I'm on my 18th pair. They're pretty legit. But nevertheless, these high design labels include Meow Meow, M-I-U. Have you heard of them? I haven't, but apparently they're very nice brands. And luxury footwear brand Church's. I would assume not a subsidiary of Church's Chicken, but I can't be sure. I'm like partially kidding. Now they say, quote, the acquisition of Versace will create a multi-billion-dollar luxury fashion group, putting the brands in position to compete with the likes of French luxury conglomerate LVMH and Kering, which the only person who actually consistently will sometimes inch out above Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos in terms of the highest net worth, well, not counting Saudi princes, but it is the CEO and founder of LVMH Group, which is, I was going to say Tiffany, and a conglomerate of more luxury brands than I could possibly fathom. It's dozens upon dozens, from perfume to clothing to jewelry, pretty much everything. So if that's why that might sound familiar, LVMH Group, which is pretty crazy. Fashion is worth more than, cars and technology. Now, granted, this net worth fluctuating, so sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But to me, I still find that fascinating. A hell of a business achievement as well. Now, say, quote, negotiations to buy Versace between Prada and Capri began in February. The price Prada agreed to pay for Versace is significantly lower than the $2.15 billion that they had spent when it bought Versace in 2018. The deal, which includes the brand's debt pile, comes as Versace has been operating at a loss amid a slowdown in demand for luxury fashion worldwide. Interesting. Capri also owns fashion brands including Jimmy Choo. I don't know who that is. Now, I do know this other guy, Michael Kors. Though, I was a little disappointed he's not actually the founder of the beer company. I'm only partially kidding. I did know that. Michael Kors does things that women like in terms of like shirts and purses and stuff like that. I'm kidding. I've seen the logo around. Now, they say, quote, Mr. Bertelli said that the Prada Group will provide Versace with a quote-unquote strong platform. Versace has huge potential. The journey will be long and require disciplined execution and patience, added Andre Guerrera, the CEO of Prada. He noted that in March, Donatella Versace stepped down from her creative director role at the luxury brand after nearly 30 years. She had held the position since 1977 and took over after the murder of her brother Gianni. The 69-year-old has a new role as a chief brand ambassador for Versace, while Dario Vitali, who is the former design and image director at Meow Meow, took over as chief creative officer. So it'll be interesting to see, how well this acquisition works. Granted, they're buying their debt too, which is never fun. But yeah, we have seen more and more people decreasing the luxury spend, and even places like Walmart, they have all these knockoffs that look pretty darn close, and some of the same materials. Those are increasing in popularity. It's also pretty funny when some of these factories that have not funny, it's illegal. That's why no one likes China. But there are many instances where the same factories and subcontractors that make some of these, luxury brands, they will also make the knockoffs. They'll just not include the actual, logo from the contract. So it's the same materials, same person making it. Granted, they might do it a little more sloppily, but to me, when I talk to my friends who are, in the more upper echelon, let's just say they don't have Honda money, they have, what do they have? Porsche money. Yeah, they are starting to look at, well, that knockoff's got the same materials. It's a fraction of the price. Most people can't tell. So I think, again, we'll see how that works out in terms of, combating all these counterfeits. But I think that's also a big variable that they're not talking about in the specific article of what is chiseling away at the demand for these ultra luxury products. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Cultural Pod podcast, you have Matt Walsh reacting to Karmelo Anthony's Gofundme, the alleged murderer who took the life of a 4.0 GPA student. Now, it should be noted that I'm actually surprised GoFundMe took this down, which, historically, let's just say they support radical leftists. So I'll just say it out loud. Now, this is perhaps Matt Walsh's most popular posts, in terms of views, this year. He got over 13 million. It's quite a few to say the least. Now, again, obviously it comes to us thanks to Matt Walsh on X, and he has the screenshot of the former GoFundMe page. It says, GoFundMe, help Karmelo, official fund. The goal was $200,000, and as a lot of mentally vacuous people, they gave him $163,233. Granted, GoFundMe actually grew a modicum of intelligence. Low bar, GoFundMe. They actually did get slightly more intelligent. They did take it down because they realized, yeah, we're saying allegedly, but there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that shows, this student stabbed the other student to death over a seat at a sports balls game, which, yeah. Now, Matt Walsh said, quote, let me pull it up on the screen there. Thousands of people in the black community have rallied around Karmelo Anthony and given over $160,000 to his family as rewarding for murdering a white kid, unquote, which, yep, you're not going to hear that in the mainstream media. That's for darn sure. And that's why this got, more than 13.9 million views, as well as 98,000 likes. Just, I was going to say, only slightly more than the 2 likes I got on one of my videos earlier this week. So only slightly. Again, friendly reminder to click that like button, and someday I'll speak perfectly articulately through an entire episode. It's a small, there's some room for improvement, to be sure. Someday it might happen with your help, from viewers like you. Now, going to the comment section, one of the top ones comes from the Hodge twins, who said, quote, I bet most of the donations are from cucked white liberals. Getting 7.1 thousand likes, and yeah, community notes, probably true, mostly true. Nick Sorter says, quote, looks like black on white crime is about to get worse. It's literally being rewarded. Getting 3.5 thousand likes. Vlad, the Impaler, says, quote, more proof that blacks are not, can't read this. Is this right grammar? More proof that blacks are not out friends? What? We need to bring back segregation. Well, that's mentally vacuous, obviously, and illegal and immoral. Perhaps that's why I only got 385 likes. Although this is one of the top responses on The View. Well, not that crappy show when I'm looking at the comments section. But yeah, that will never happen for a good reason. Obviously, moral reasons, legal reasons, and yeah, there's no upside to that situation. At least I don't think. Zeke Akram says, quote, I will be willing to bet that more white liberals are donated than anyone. I respect your intelligence, but this is just race baiting. 5.2 thousand likes. Shah Yakora says, quote, we also threw cookouts and barbecues as well. This is, oh, Jesus, it's a joyous occasion, getting 3,000 likes. Like, Kashi says, quote, he was acting in self-defense, getting 998 likes. Yeah, I don't know about that. Brought a knife to a situation, and you're underage. This is an interesting name and also good advice. Drink more water. All right. Says, quote, because the white kid was a bully. This is a campaign for defense of an anti-bully. 844 likes. Yeah, I don't know about that, but that got a lot of replies. One of the top ones comes from Sambo, run, fight, lift. Says, quote, yes, we can now stab, shoot, beat, and jump anyone who says whatever catchphrase you put in there at a time. I pray this happens to someone you love. Oh, geez Louise. That's not nice to wish that upon their enemies. Make men great again, says, quote, this is what happens when a culture is poisoned by race-baiting media and corrupt source-funded activists. It's time to restore law, order, and equal accountability, no matter what skin color you are. Getting 1.3 thousand likes, and yeah, I would say that. Yeah, this is a cliche. It's been like for years, but the media is always reporting crime statistics and murders when it's only one way, if you know what I mean. You also have Kamijin Green, or Lee, sorry, say, quote, they're extremely tribal and will excuse and even support murders long as they're black. I saw this all the time when I raise awareness of the violence against Asians from blacks. They celebrate senseless targeted violence if the criminal is black. Insanity. Getting 7.4 thousand likes, which it was interesting how a couple years back there's a big cultural movement around the Stop Asian Hate, which I agree. I mean, you should not no one should be hurt because of the race or things that can control like that. However, when they started looking into the statistics on who was causing the most violence against Asians, that whole cultural blip, that campaign, Stop Asian Hate, is subsequently dissolved. Shouldn't it? I don't believe it. I don't think it should have. No one should be getting hurt. And they stopped that campaign. Big Town Callahan says, quote, I would never support a white murderer just because they're the same color as me. This is cold-blooded murder. There is not even an argument for him to be innocent. Getting 2.6 thousand likes, which, yeah. We have, let's see here, Mag1775 saying, quote, rewarding a murderer, that's not justice, it's disgraceful. You don't honor killers, you lock them up in a story, getting 861 likes. I mean, we also look at who leftists put up as martyrs. They actually do mostly put up martyrs that are killers, drug users. I mean, probably the best example in the past years is George Floyd. They even made statues of that POS. I mean, this George Floyd was a guy who was perpetually high his whole life. He hurt people. He stole from people. He hurt them physically. He even robbed a pregnant woman at gunpoint. That's the man they turned into a martyr who died from an overdose. Yeah. Junior Broderick also says absolutely despicable, getting 1.7 thousand likes. Let's see here. A couple more people having screenshots of fake GoFundMes where they say the goal is like 7.6 million. Brotherhood says, quote, say what you will, but you will have to somewhat respect their blind racial loyalty. Perhaps it's time we do the same, getting 9.9 thousand likes. Jeez Louise, which, no, blind loyalty is just ridiculous. That's what leftists do. There are some people on the right who do it. I think percentage-wise it's much, much smaller, but no, blind loyalty, especially because of race, is so dumb. I mean, obviously it's also immoral, but to me, shoot, as long as someone has the same morals and values, I don't care how they look like. You also have Julio Mariano saying, quote, I can guarantee you a good chunk are white progressives, getting 736 likes. Yeah, probably. A lot of people are bringing up parallels between, the left raising money for Luigi, who in cold blood murdered the CEO of United Healthcare. And yeah, I think GoFundMe, I think they took that down as well, maybe. But yeah, this is probably one of the most viral things on social media the past couple weeks. And we'll see how this plays out in court. But yeah, it's quite concerning that people keep giving accolades and keep cheering for people who are clearly criminals. But let me know your thoughts and comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the political part podcast, you have Donald Trump giving us high flow shower heads after years of tyranny and big government. Thank God for more deregulation. As they say, promises made, promises kept. Now, this is a parody as old as, when Seinfeld was popular, where they went on the black market to get high pressure shower heads because, their buildings were having low water flow. And yeah, there's so much regulation in the United States, even your shower heads, toilet, and other water apparatuses are regulated. It can't use too much, they say. Now, this comes with thanks to Charlie Kirk. And he says, quote, high flow shower heads are back. President Trump signs executive order to end the war on water pressure. And it's a little bit long, but it's Trump and hilarious. So obviously we're going to play the whole thing. But I'm just going to say, buckle up here.
Next up, sir, we have a series of executive orders and a memorandum all relating to deregulation, which has obviously been a major priority of your administration. The first of these is an executive order. The Biden administration launched what you've called a war on showers. They had certain regulations that basically killed the water pressure of showers and other water appliances.
You can say it. Go ahead. What are the appliances?
I mean, it's everything, sir.
Dishwashers,
toilets, sinks. Yeah. But the shower heads are
There's no water. You don't get water. It's ridiculous.
So with this executive order, we're effectively going to be reversing that set of regulations to ensure that Americans have choice in the consumer market. If they want a low-flow shower head, they can buy one. If they want a real-deal shower head, they should have the ability to get one.
You buy a new house, you pay a lot of money, and the developers, you're not allowed to do anything more. They put restrictors on. They used to have a restrictor where you could take it out, but now they weld it in. And you take a shower or wash your hands, whatever you do, including dishwashers when no water comes out. But you wash your hands, and in my case, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. And I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous. And what you do is you end up washing your hands 5 times longer. So it's the same water. And we're going to open it up so that people can live, and we're going to hopefully have Congress approve it so it's memorialized. We're going to try and get all of these things, including straws, little thing like straws. We did straws a month ago where the paper straws were melting. They were dissolving. They weren't working well. And we went back to the plastic straws. We're going to get Congress to memorialize just about everything we've done here because most of it's common sense. But the water is horrible. When you go into anytime you see a new faucet, you know it's going to be a long wash of the hands. And so we're changing it. It's a big deal. I did it in the first administration. Biden came in his first week, and he had no idea what he was doing, but somebody told him to do it. In his first week, he put the restrictions on all the bathroom utilities. Even in areas that have so much water, they don't know what to do with it. You see those areas all the time with the flooding. So we're doing that, and we're going to get all of the things that you've seen. I think we set a record. We're up to almost 200 and 500 amendments. Nobody's ever done that many. We're going to get them approved by Congress so they're memorialized. And we look forward to doing that. It's very important. And Congress is going to start working on it as soon as we get the big, beautiful deal done. The big, beautiful deal is important. The biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, that's important. Okay.
Winning. There we go.
Okay. Is that okay?
Beautiful. Let the free market work. You want a crappy shower head where you have to take 20 minutes to get the same amount of water? That's fine. But thankfully now we have the freedom to actually buy appliances that work. Now, this actually went pretty viral. I got 2.1 million views as well as 54,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Gunther Eagleman says, quote, he really is the GOAT, gained 473 likes. So, fun fact, we do have some contrarian comments brewing to the surface. Not the usual echo chamber, so a little excited there. The undercurrent says, quote, other presidents gave us inflation and endless wars. Trump gave us clean hair and pressure washers. Historic. Okay, 129 likes. Yep. The only president in my entire lifetime where there was no new wars. Pretty damn rare thing. Ivor M. Acton. Oh, I see what you did there. Says, quote, oh, geez. Try to keep this show moderately family friendly. Well, I guess kids won't know what this means, hopefully. He says, quote, a golden shower from Trump is the only thing you deserve. Now, that got 599 likes. It's pretty crazy. You also have Birth Giver saying, now we do an executive order that allow to purchase and produce incandescent lighting. LED lighting hurts those who have epilepsy. I didn't know that. Getting 53 likes. You know, it would be also nice if Obama didn't ban the nice old incandescent light bulbs that were made in America. The dumbest thing on the planet well, in terms of the people who say they care about the environment, they go, oh yeah, we need those compact fluorescent light bulbs. Guess what is inside all of those? Mercury. Yeah, so they're known as trash. That's why I don't buy them. But yeah, those compact fluorescent light bulbs, they look funny too. But yeah, if you read the box, which not many people do, but they're not made in America, and they contain trace amounts of mercury. So if you actually do it in the right way, it costs more to recycle, and you have less options to recycle. However, most people just throw them in the trash. An incandescent light bulb, if you actually made it right, would last years. That's why they have a firehouse with a light bulb that's been on for like 100 years now. If you actually make it properly, they'll last longer, and they're made in the U.S., which would be nice. Actually support our own country. Now, you also have Jay saying, quote, all you have to do is open the shower head and pop out that blue piece out, getting 553 likes, which you're not supposed to let everyone know about that life hack. You're technically breaking the law. But yeah, I think a lot of people do that. Rumpy says, quote, can we get dishwashers that run a load in under an hour while we're at it, getting 151 likes? Now, Gina Bina Fovina, pretty cool name, says, quote, people that don't vacuum don't deserve them. The rest of us, how blessed we are. I love our president. The golden age will be amazing for all of us, getting 121 likes. Someone did use the meme or the meme from Seinfeld. I love it. I only got 1 like from me, but still, Marty Matt has the meme from Seinfeld where Kramer famously comes out of his apartment and his hair is all kerfuffled because the pressure on his shower is so low, he can't actually, wash his hair properly. It's a whole episode. It's a great episode. I recommend it. You also have Joe saying, I just picked up my new shower head from Home Depot. Thanks, President Trump. It's an AI-generated shower head. It says, quote, liberal tier shower head when winning isn't enough, getting 6 likes. You also have Ruth Brown saying, now can we get decent light bulbs back, getting 32 likes. Bo says, you are weird. Kids aren't eating and you're celebrating taking a shower. Getting 74 likes. Little ADHD comp there. But yeah, celebrate the wins. Doesn't mean you can't focus on 2 problems at once. Billy Girl says, quote, no problem taking nice long showers. Trump deregulated pollution controls on water. So how are you so now you're bathing in dirty water, allegedly, getting 189 likes. So I have water filtration systems. Does she not know how water works? Let's see here. But yeah, those are a couple of top comments, but yeah. Then you got one more. This GIF is from Seinfeld where, they buy the black market shower head. That's the guy's like, oh yes, this is used for showering elephants or something like that. Lots of pressure. You don't want that. Kramer's like, oh yeah, I want that. And literally knocks Kramer down when he's taking the shower onto the floor. I got 1 like, but it's hilarious. We'll make it 2 likes. We'll literally double the number of likes for that. So as they say, promises made, promises kept. Great to see more deregulation. Let me know what upcoming deregulation are you looking forward to the most. Let me know in the comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Cabot butter being recalled because it's crappy. Literally, not just in terms of quality, but not great. Now, this comes to us thanks to NBC News, and they say, quote, Cabot Creamery issues a butter recall for possible fecal contamination. More than 1,700 pounds of creamy extra premium butter, sea salted, have been recalled across 7 states. Whoops. Which, I was going to say, it's not Walmart brand. So to me, that's a premium brand. That's pretty fancy. And yet it looks like, didn't have quality control. They didn't have their coffee that day, apparently. Now, they say, quote, Cabot Creamery issued a voluntary recall for a single lot of its extra creamy premium butter, sea salted in 7 states, totaling 1,700 pounds across 189 cases after testing found the product to be contaminated with elevated levels of coliform bacteria, according to the U.S. FDA. They say, quote, Agrimark successfully recovered 99.5% of the lot of the recalled product before it was sold to consumers. The parent company said in a statement, this very small amount, 17 retail packages, 8.5 pounds, were sold to consumers in Vermont, as if you needed yet another reason not to live in Vermont. The FDA marked the case as Class 3, which is reserved for products that are not likely to cause adverse health consequences. Thankfully, no illnesses or complaints related to the product have been reported as of yet. They also know that coliform is commonly found in the environment. Well, cover your ears if you have children listening. And feces of humans and animals, according to the I can't speak today. Click the subscribe button. Maybe they'll fix that. It slowly has, but surely. I used to speak a lot more or worse, believe it or not. Grammatically, that didn't make sense, but you know what I'm trying to mean. They say, quote, Vermont Department of Health. Although most types of coliform bacteria are harmless, fecal coliform and bacteria such as E. coli can cause illness. The recalled butter was distributed across Arkansas, Connecticut, Maine, New Hampshire, New York, Vermont, and Pennsylvania. The butter is packaged in 2 4-ounce sticks in cardboard shells. To identify recalled products, consumers should look for the following: best by date of September 9th, 2025, lot code 090925-55, item number 2038. So again, it is good in terms of they got ahead of the situation, because again, no one's got hurt, no one's got sick from it, so that's good. And yet you're selling a premium product. They even brag on the box. No artificial growth hormone, which hey, I could appreciate that. Pay a little more for a natural product. And yet, yeah, whoops, looks like it turns out to be a little crappy. So, gotta say, Cabot Creamery, you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.